This is an iHeart podcast.
The Girlfriends is back with a new season, and this time I'm telling you the story of Kelly Harnett. Kelly spent over a decade in prison for a murder she says she didn't commit. As she fought for her freedom, she taught herself the law.
He goes, "Oh God, Harnett, jailhouse lawyer."
And became a beacon of hope for the women locked up alongside her.
You're supposed to have your faith in God, but I had nothing but faith in her.
I think I was put here to save souls by getting people out of prison.
The Girlfriends, Jailhouse Lawyer. Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Ian Pfaff, the creator and host of the Uncle Chris podcast. My Uncle Chris was a real character, a garbage truck driver from South Carolina who is now buried in Panama City alongside the founding families of Panama. He also happens to be responsible for the craziest night of my life. Wild stories about adventure, romance, crime, history, and war intertwine as I share the tall tales and hard truths that have helped me understand Uncle Chris. Listen now to Uncle Chris on Will Ferrell's Big Money Players Network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Just like great shoes, great books take you places. Through unforgettable love stories and into conversations with characters you'll never forget.
I think any good romance, it gives me this feeling of like butterflies.
I'm Danielle Robay, and this is Bookmarked by Reese's Book Club, the new podcast from Hello Sunshine and iHeart Podcasts, where we dive into the stories that shape us on the page and off. Each week, I'm joined by authors, celebs, book talk stars, and more for conversations that will make you laugh, cry, and add way too many books to your TBR pile. Listen to Bookmarked by Reese's Book Club on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Join iHeartRadio and Sarah Spain in celebrating the one-year anniversary of iHeart Women's Sports.
With powerful interviews and insider analysis, our shows have connected fans with the heart of women's sports. In just 1 year, the network has launched 15 shows and built a community united by passion.
Podcasts that amplify the voices of women in sports.
Thank you for supporting iHeart Women's Sports and our founding sponsors, Elf Beauty, Capital One, and Novartis.
Just open the free iHeart app and search iHeart Women's Sports to listen now.
So what happened at Chappaquiddick? Well, it really depends on who you talk to.
There are many versions of what happened in 1969 when a young Ted Kennedy drove a car into a pond
and left a woman behind to drown.
Chappaquiddick is a story of a tragic death and how the Kennedy machine took control. Every week, we go behind the headlines and beyond the drama of America's royal family.
Listen to United States of Kennedys on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, it's time now for today's Strawberry Letter. And if you need advice on relationships, work, sex, parenting, and more, please submit your Strawberry Letter to steveharveyfm.com. We could be reading your letter live on the air, just like we're going to read this one right here, right now. And you never know, this one could be yours. Mm-hmm.
It could be. Buckle up and hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is. Strawberry Letter.
Subject, my neighbor's T-shirt in our garage. Dear Steve and Shirley, I'm a 44-year-old married woman, and my husband broke his leg in several places in a bad car crash. He's been off his feet for 3 months, and I set him up in our downstairs bedroom. He owns a car wash and has always been very active, so when he couldn't go to work or do anything around the house, he went through a bout of depression. The medication made him sleep a lot, and I felt really bad for him. Now that he's up and back on his feet, he's got a bad attitude, and the smallest things set him off, and all we do is argue. He was in the garage yesterday putting out trash, and he saw a man's T-shirt behind the garbage can. I had no idea whose shirt it was because he often takes my old T-shirts and his old T-shirts to the car wash to use as rags. I didn't even think that it could be our neighbor's shirt, but it was. When my husband was down and out, our next door neighbors came to my aid. They're a very Christian couple and sweet as can be. The husband helped me with putting out the trash, and he helped with keeping the yard up. The wife made a couple of meals for us, and she did a few grocery store runs for me. I owe them the world for their help, but my husband has been very disrespectful because he found the neighbor's T-shirt. I told my husband that the man probably took the shirt off while he was helping us because it was really hot, or he meant to throw the shirt shirt away because it was too soiled. My husband thinks I was sneaking around with this much older, overweight man next door. It's so embarrassing, and I can't stand the way he's treating them. I can't apologize enough to the neighbors. How do I get my crazy husband to stop tripping? Well, if I were you, I would just stop entertaining this foolishness. I would just stop. I wouldn't even pay attention to it. Your husband knows better. He knows the t-shirt was there just for the reason you said. Either your neighbor meant to throw it away when he was over there helping, or he took the shirt off because it was too hot. It takes two people to argue, so just stop arguing with him about this. He's back up and on his feet now, thanks to you guys. So what's his problem now? He's ungrateful. I think that's what it is. He's just ungrateful. And that's a character flaw. I mean, the people went out of their way to help him and you while he was down. And this is the thanks that you all get. I say, let him know, sit him down, let him know that he can stay stuck on stupid if he wants to, but you want no part of his bad behavior. When he brings it up again, ignore him. Remind him that just life is too short to be arguing over this dumb stuff. He should be thanking you. He should be loving you right now, but for how well you took care of him during those 3 months. He should be glad to be alive after that horrible car accident and treating the neighbors with kindness and respect as well. This is crazy, and you're right. Your husband is crazy. Hopefully he'll get it together. Maybe it's the meds. Maybe is he still on the meds?
No.
Maybe it's the meds. Check that out. Anyway, I'm done. Steve?
That ain't it, Shirley. I got you, baby. Don't worry about it. Beautiful response. I love the way you handled it and everything. It made a lot of sense, everything you were saying. This is a man issue. Let me go and take it from here. Here, I got some little insight on this. I know this story all too well right here. I've seen this movie before. I know how it ended. Now, I'm going to guide you through this letter. I'm going to tell you what it is. I know y'all always think I'm always talking about this here, but I know what I'm talking about when it comes to men. This is a man issue. 44-year-old lady, husband broke his leg in several places.
Really?
In a car crash. He been off his feet for 3 months. All this is key information. You set him up in the downstairs bedroom. Now, he had car wash. He's always been very active. But when he couldn't go to work or do anything around the house, he went through a bout of depression. Medication made him sleep a lot. I really felt bad for him. Now he's up and back on his feet, but he's got a bad attitude, and the smallest things set him off. And all we do is argue. Here is the letter right here. What happened is your husband has allowed his condition to affect his attitude instead of his attitude controlling the condition. He broke his leg. He ain't lose his leg. Ain't like somebody came, took it off. There are people who are amputees who have the most courage and have the best attitude of people I've seen with 2 legs. They don't stop, won't stop, can't stop. They do things that people with 2 legs wouldn't even dare to attempt. They out there skiing. They out there snowboarding. They out there climbing. They out there playing sports. They in leagues and everything. And your husband sat over here and broke his little leg. Now he hurt. Now he ain't the same no more. Now here's what really happened. And this where the ladies is going to disagree.
Okay.
Sat around on his for 3 months, sleeping and eating. Now he fat. He done gained weight now. Now with this new weight gain, he now got a bad attitude. Now he mad at everybody else because he broke his leg. Now he fat. He ain't what he was. Set her up 3 months of sleeping and eating. Oh, this boy done swole. Now we'll get into the t-shirt when I come back and tell you why he's overreacting about this t-shirt. And I'm going to tell you how you should have handled the t-shirt.
All right. Here comes some more lies. We'll have part 2 of Steve's response coming up to today's Strawberry Letter. My neighbor's t-shirt is in our garage. My neighbor's t-shirt in our garage. That's coming up at 23 minutes after the hour. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
So what happened at Chappaquiddick? Well, it really depends on who you talk to.
There are many versions of what happened in 1969 when a young Ted Kennedy drove a car into a pond.
And left a woman behind to drown.
There's a famous headline, I think in the New York Daily News. It's Teddy escapes, blonde drowns. And in a strange way, right, that sort of tells you the story really became about Ted's political future, Ted's political hopes. Will Ted become president?
Chappaquiddick is a story of a tragic death and how the Kennedy machine took control.
And he's not the only Kennedy to survive a scandal.
The Kennedys have lived through disgrace, affairs, violence, you name it. So is there a curse? Every week, we go behind the headlines and beyond the drama of America's royal family.
Listen to United States of Kennedy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
American history is full of wise people.
Walt Whitman said something like, 99.99% of war is diarrhea and 1% is glory.
Those founding fathers were gossipy AF, and they loved to cut each other down.
I'm Bob Crawford, host of American History Hotline, the show where you send us your questions about American history, and I find the answers, including the nuggets of wisdom our history has to offer.
Hamilton pauses, and then he says, the greatest man that ever lived was Julius Caesar. And Jefferson writes in his diary, this proves that Hamilton is for a dictator based on corruption.
My favorite line was what Neil Armstrong said. It would have been harder to fake it than to do it.
Listen to American History Hotline on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Check out Behind the Flow, a podcast documentary series following the launch of San Diego Football Club. We go behind the scenes and explore the stories of those involved.
San Diego coming to MLS is going to be a game changer because this region has been hungry for a men's professional soccer team.
We need veteran players and we need young players. Like, you're building a team from scratch. And so the succession plan of long-term success needs to be defined. We need to embrace this community.
When I was 13, my uncle took me to a qualifier and we watched Paraguay against Chile, pouring rain, just watching the fans jumping up and down. I think that was definitely a watershed moment for me. Not only was that going to be my game, but it was going to be my life.
Listen to San Diego FC Behind the Flow, now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Show me how good it can get today, God, and show the rest of the world what we already know. It can't get no better than being hella black, hella queer, and hella Christian. My name is Joseph Reeves. I am the creator and host of Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian, a fully black, fully queer, fully human, fully divine podcast that explores society, culture, and the intersections of faith and identity. Listen to Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian to hear conversations about what it means to sound the way you look.
I think what I've had to make peace with is that every iteration of my voice is given to me by God, and I love it.
Books that validated our identity.
The library now for me is a safe space as someone who is writing books that they're trying to take off of shelves.
And how we as black queer folks relate to our Christianity. Listen to Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, this is Ruthie Rogers, host of Ruthie's Table 4.
Ali called me the stray dog because I would always turn up at my mate's house at mealtimes.
This week, I'm talking to Bono.
All of my ideas about social justice, or rather the lack of it, came from my father too. People have to have health, housing, and education drilled into me and his values.
Listen to Ruthie's Table 4 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This broadcast is sponsored by PayPal. I got to put you on to something I just learned about. PayPal. PayPal offers people more flexibility. You can choose to pay now, pay in 4, or monthly. I just purchased airline tickets. My husband and daughter and I are so ready for vacation. Don't just pay, PayPal. PayPal pay later options are subject to approval. Eligibility varies. Learn more at paypal.com/buy now, pay later.
All right, come on, Steve. Let's recap today's Strawberry Letter. My neighbor's T-shirt in our garage.
Well, here we go. This 44-year-old woman is married to this man that had a car wash, always been very active, but he got in a car accident and he broke his leg in 3 places. Now, he wasn't active anymore for 3 months. He been sitting around eating. The meds got him sleepy all the time, eating and sleeping and sitting around doing nothing. Calorie count is high. Taters just sitting up there with gravy in a cup with a straw in it. Just gravy a beverage.
You can't chew.
Just sitting up, just picking up weight. You felt bad for him. Now he back on his feet. He got a bad attitude. Smallest things set him off, and all we do is argue. He ain't what he was. He done let the condition of the breakage affect his attitude instead of letting his attitude affect the condition of the break. He didn't have to change. He changed on his own. Now, he in the garage the other day putting out the trash. Here the problem. He saw a man's T-shirt behind the garbage can. I had no idea whose shirt it was because he often takes our old T-shirts up to the car wash, use them as rags. Right there. You had no idea who the T-shirt was. I didn't even think it could be our neighbor's T-shirt. Okay? But it was. What you mean, but it was? You had no idea it could be a neighbor's T-shirt, but it was. How? Who brought it up? Who suggested that this is the neighbor's T-shirt? Shut your mouth. Stupid.
So she shouldn't have said anything?
About what? She already said she has no idea who the T-shirt was. Because he often take the T-shirts to the car wash. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think it could be our neighbor's shirt, but it was. What the hell you mean, but it was? Stick to your story. You don't know nothing about the T-shirt. What is wrong with y'all? You didn't even have to lie. You could have just stuck to your story. When my husband was down and out, our next door neighbor came to my aid. This ain't looking good. They are very Christian couple, sweet as can be. Christians have affairs. The husband helped me by putting out the trash, and he helped keeping the yard up, and the wife made a couple meals for us. She did a grocery store run for me. I owe them the world for that. Well, why are they always helping you cook and running the stove for you and take trash out? What happened to your leg?
She can't do everything.
What was she doing? Fat boy was in here asleep. He can't go nowhere. It ain't like he had to sit there and pee on himself. What is she doing? He broke his leg. He ain't got bowel trouble.
She did not have sex with that man.
I didn't know. I know she didn't. I know she didn't. But shut your mouth. You don't know whose T-shirt it is. Why you talking about? Yeah, it is his. I owe them the world for helping, but my husband been very disrespectful because he found out the neighbor T-shirt, but he disrespectful to you though. See, I told my husband that the man probably took the shirt off while he was helping. What did you just say? You told your husband that the man probably took the shirt off while he was helping us because it was really hot. What the hell you taking your shirt off for? Hell no. You just said you didn't know whose T-shirt it was. Now you creating scenarios and stories for his dumb to latch on to. Now he done took his shirt off because it's too hot. It ain't that hot. He meant to throw the show away, but it was too soft. My husband think I was sneaking around with this much older, overweight man next door. And you know why he was thinking you might be messing around with the much older, overweight man next door? Because you're still messing around with his now much overweight. Because he done sat up in here and beating ding-dongs and chips for 3 months with his little broke his leg. He broke his leg so what? But all you had to do was shut your mouth. Here you are creating scenarios. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He probably took his shirt off, helping him. He got hot. What old fat Christian you know do that?
Are you for real?
Deacon Patterson used to work every week on the building for him. He never took his shirt off. Put steps down to the basement of the church. They never took his shirt off. How the hell? We didn't have air conditioning in church. Why
We talk about Deacon Pat.
It's so embarrassing that I can't stand the way he treating them. I can't apologize enough for that. How can I get my crazy husband to stop tripping? Your husband's stupid. He mad at himself because he was in the car accident. Now he want everybody to feel sorry for him. Should have stuck to your story. There is no solution for this. Except now you have learned a lesson. Quit running your mouth.
Yeah, ignore him.
The story is, I don't know whose shirt it is. Don't be in there talking about, no, he probably took it off when he got high. That's stupid. You just putting bullets in the gun.
All right. Thank you,
Lord,
Steve. It's time.
Why y'all run y'all mouth?
For you to leave your comments on today's letter on Instagram.
Shut up.
Steve Harvey FM, and check out the Strawberry Letter on demand, okay? So she should have just been quiet, huh?
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
This is an iHeart podcast.